Hi, welcome to Just Another Day, where we meet local people and they give us a little insight into what their life is all about. Today we're meeting mountain leader and SO2 training Major James Gracia from the RG. We'll find out all about his day, but first let's talk to him a bit about what his job involves. So James, talk me through a typical day for you. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Usually I wake up in the morning, have a quick coffee. It's usually a takeaway coffee, to be honest, in one of those unbreakable mug things. Jump in the van and drive to work. Once I get here, I usually have a quick porridge as breakfast and another coffee. And then I sit in front of the computer and tuck away for a bit.
Are you like me? Is coffee like a big part of your day? Does it fuel you to?
Absolutely, yeah. I get very cranky if I don't have my coffee in the morning. Yeah.
Tell me a bit about your job. What's your role and what's your rank?
I'm a major in the Royal Gibraltar Regiment. I'm posted to the headquarters. So at the moment I am the staff officer for land training. So I'm responsible for all the training that happens on the rock, as far as anything that happens on land is concerned. So my primary tasks are dealing with visiting units, so all the overseas exercises that come over to Gibraltar to train. I'm responsible for the training area up at Bufadero. I'm also responsible for the training area inside our tunnel system, just to make sure that is a safe place for people to go training. I inspect the ranges as well, our two ranges, my firing ranges. I inspect those. I also inspect the range we've got in Morocco, and usually that's the annual inspection to make sure that it's safe to be fired on.
How about your military career? How did that start for you? How did you get into it?
I joined up when I was 17. I suppose I left school. I wasn't that academic, to be honest, at the time, or at least I wasn't that interested in continuing my studies. I was at a bit of a loose end, and I thought, what can I do that interests me? I've always been a kind of outdoorsy kind of person, so I thought, well, I'll join the regiment for a couple of years until I find my feet, and 27 years later, I'm still here.
Do you remember your first day? Was it quite intimidating?
It's always quite intimidating. You're 17 years old, just all you've done is been to school, and suddenly you pitch up at camp and somebody starts shouting at you and telling you what to do. It can be quite daunting, but I enjoy this.
What's the best thing about being in the Gibraltar Regiment?
There's a lot of good things about it. It's one of those jobs that it gives you a lot of freedom to do a lot of other things that aren't necessarily thought about in a military sense. So you've got the opportunity to travel. You get the opportunity to do all the adventurous stuff as well, which is interesting and interests me especially. And
so when it came to it, did you get like a choice of what direction your career was going to go in?
To a certain degree, we offer different career paths. I took the mainstream. I took the infantry career path, which is probably, out of all the career paths, chef, clerk, all that kind of stuff, probably the hardest, the most physically demanding. So I took that path. I became a lance corporal a long time ago, developed and did my junior Brecon, senior Brecon, platoon sergeant, company sergeant major, and when it got to that point in my career, I was offered a commission, which I took, and that was 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago.
If you could go back and talk to your 17-year-old self and give them some advice about their future, what would you say?
I'd tell him to travel more, take more advantage of it all. I mean, I did, but there were certain things that I would have thought you should have done that, and I didn't take that opportunity.
Like what? What was it?
I don't know, maybe Bosnia, operational tour of Bosnia. I did Iraq, but I missed out on Bosnia, so maybe I should have volunteered for that one as well.
What about any youngsters that might be watching who are thinking, oh, maybe I'll pursue a career in the regiment? What advice would you give them?
Go for it. It's a great career. It does offer a lot of opportunities. It's offered me a lot of opportunities, and it's one of those things that the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. You know, I never thought that I'd end up as a major. You know, it's quite a high rank, and I started as a private. You know, so I never thought I'd get there. I just finished a tenure as battalion second in command, which was probably the highest you can get, having come from the ranks.
And what about the future of your military career? What are your hopes for the future?
I've got my career finishes on the 6th of November, so I'm looking forward to a transition to civilian life. Our careers are short, so I think it's time to move on and do something else.
And you've got something else in mind? You've already started?
Yeah. I run Ultimate Rocket Ventures, which is a small company which aims to take people out into the outdoors and do via ferrata, canyoning, rock climbing and trekking. And I've started doing that for the weekends. The plan is to do that a bit more formally and more full time when I retire, but that's happening now. Yeah.
And you've chosen to go in this direction because of the skills you've picked up during your military career.
Absolutely. I think not only the qualifications, the mountain leader and the rock climbing qualification and all that. It's not just about the qualifications. It's about the leadership skills that you pick up along the way and the motivational skills. You know, as an infantryman, you end up dealing with people from all walks of life, pointing them in the right direction, motivating them, and getting them to a lot of the times to do things that they wouldn't necessarily want to do normally. So you know, it's about taking risks and pushing boundaries.
Being in the line of work you're in, fitness is a big part of that. So how do you like to keep in shape?
Fitness, yeah, it is a big part. Not only for my day job, for my military training, but for my weekend stuff as well. I need to be in reasonably good shape, otherwise your body would deteriorate. I've got my little training plan. On Mondays I do some interval training on the treadmill and a chin-up session just to keep my upper body strong. Tuesdays usually a 5k run, over 5k's, nothing too fast, but you know, to get the mileage in, to get the steps in. Wednesday's my climbing day, so I tend to go to the climbing wall and do some rock climbing just to practice technique and a bit of finger strength and upper body. And Wednesday evenings I do a circuit. Thursday's a rest day. And Friday is some sort of strength training, either in the gym or with suspension training, you know, the TRX thing. And weekends, if I haven't got any activities on, I might do a bit of yoga and stretching. But usually weekends are quite busy with some activity or other.
Can we do some training today? Can I join you for a session?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the most interesting one's the climbing wall. So yeah, we can do that.
Excellent. All right, no, nice one. Let's head over. So we made our way down here to this amazing climbing wall at Devil's Tower Camp. I didn't even know this was here, but it's fantastic. What are we going to be doing? Okay,
we're going to be doing a bit of bouldering to start off with, just to warm up. Okay, just to get the right muscles nice and warm before we do anything really serious. So all we're going to do is we're going to traverse across this wall using everything. Okay, there's no rules in this game, and just get across as best you can, and that will warm the muscles up.
Right, so we're going horizontally, not vertically,
not yet.
As a little bit of warm up. Okay, let's do this.
Right, remember, any holes, just the point is to get across, okay?
Right, I'll just follow you.
Yeah, just follow me.
So how long have you been climbing then?
Well, my first recorded climb is 1994, so I've been climbing a while. Like with everything else, life gets in the way, so on and off since then, really.
Have you got any tips for me now that I'm already up here?
Try and use the tips of your feet. Okay, so you can pivot on them. Also, if you need a rest or as much as you can, keep your arms extended and your knees bent. So
right.
Your skeleton holding the weight instead of your muscles. And apart from that, is try and be as efficient as possible.
What's been your most challenging climb?
Most challenging climb, I suppose, is Mont Blanc. That's a proper winter climb. You know, it's the highest mountain in the Alps, and it's quite tough.
And is that with that's cold as well?
It's very cold, yeah. So it's a couple of days climbing, and you basically tied on to some other people in case you fall and you're walking up there with ice axes and crampons.
Is it quite dangerous?
Yeah, by all accounts. People die on these mountains every year, so I suppose it's a little bit dangerous.
Right, I think I'm stuck.
Okay, grab onto that big one with your left hand. There you go.
Where am I going now?
There you go. Just make it to that arete there and then down climb. Keep warming up.
What about climbing ambitions? Have you got a dream climb that you'd like to?
Yeah, I mean, climbing wise, I'd like to increase my grades. I mean, I'm climbing at very, very reasonably low grades at the moment. I'm a bit older as well, you know, so that doesn't help. I'd like to maybe be climbing on sixes by the summer. So you know, which is what I used to be able to climb. But climbing ambitions, I mean, Everest is like the pinnacle of it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just the funding is just so expensive.
Yeah, of course.
But I wouldn't mind doing something a little bit less, which is a little bit cheaper. So, you know, 7,000 meter peak maybe.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let you go and enjoy it first.
There you go.
See how you do, and then I'll see if I can give it a go.
So yeah, I mean, I did Everest Base Camp and it left me hungry for more because that's a walk, you know. And I like the exposure of it. I like the hardship. You know?
Do you find it quite addictive?
Yeah, I like. There's a couple of things I enjoy. I enjoy being out there, and I enjoy the risk factor to it. You know, I enjoy that it's dangerous and that it's up to me to mitigate that risk. And I really enjoy coming back as well. Because you've been out for a couple of weeks and suddenly it's that point where I'm going home, you know?
Back home.
And you're thinking about the callos that'll be waiting for you at home. That's quite a good feeling, you know? So it's one of those things that really appeals to me.
I suppose the feeling of achievement as well when you get back
absolutely.
home.
I mean, when you get to the top, that gives you a great sense of having done something, you know, that not everybody can do.
Yeah.